Welcome to Soap Dish. Hi, Luann. How the
Hi,
heck are you?
Hi, Mark. I'm doing great. How about yourself?
I am doing wonderfully. Today is
Okay.
July 14th already, 2025. The
Is,
summer's half over.
isn't that amazing? It just
Yeah.
is going way too fast.
Yeah.
Here in Florida, it always feels like summer, but there in Minnesota, I know when
It's
after the
hot
July,
now, but yeah,
yeah,
it's been a
after
cool
July
spring.
4th holiday, they always kind of say, "Oh, we're on the back end of summer."
They lie.
It's hot there, huh?
Well, either that or it's just because meteorologists, Luann, you can be right 50% of the time.
That's
I
right.
can do that.
Yeah,
Throw a dart at the wall, right?
exactly. And they
Sorry
get
for
paid
any,
good money to
yeah,
be
for
half
any
right half
meteorologists.
the
We really
time.
do love you guys.
Yes, we do.
All right, so let's talk Young and Restless.
Yes.
Um, we haven't talked for a couple weeks, and I was on vacation last week, but I
Hmm.
kind of got caught up. But Cole passed away last week,
Yes, and
one day.
in the previews they had shown that he was not doing well, and I with the Legionnaire's disease,
Yeah,
and I thought he would stick around a little bit longer because I really liked the Cole character,
yeah.
and he was
I
good
do
with
too. I was hoping you
Victoria.
would.
I,
Yeah.
I was hoping he and Victoria would have a little more time, and Claire would have a little more time together
Hmm.
for Bondi because Victoria was really coming around and wanting to be with him more and enjoying her time with him. But he was in Chicago and they had did as much as they could for him there, and they said I think he's doing well. He can come back to Genoa City Hospital, and
Yeah.
while he was there, and he could just sense that something was off. So, he had Claire and Victoria there in the room with him, and um, he knew what was happening. He said, "I just want to say my goodbyes," and it was like,
Yeah.
really, Cole was gone, and just like that, he died.
Yeah. I didn't expect that either. I kind of thought that somehow he was going to pull through that deal, but he didn't.
Yes, and
So,
especially with all the other people like Nikki and Victor, they're all still at the chateau, and
right?
with Aristotle Dumas or Kane,
Jamal.
and so it was too bad that they weren't there to be there to support Victoria and Claire, but I guess they decided Cole was done. You know, his character
His
needed
character was no longer needed,
his character was no
I guess.
longer needed. But it's a sad passing because
Yeah, I agree. He's a
I
good character. I like him as an actor. I
yeah,
like his role. It's good. I agree. I
yes,
wish they'd have kept him around, but they
yes.
didn't.
So
So
now we have Nate who kind of came back in the picture to he came to console Victoria, and he was being kind to her and caring.
mhm.
So we'll see if that comes
I have
back
some
again.
thoughts maybe coming up
Okay.
on that we should
Okay.
discuss.
Okay. Sounds great.
All right. So this whole Tessa, let's next talk about Tessa
Mm,
Mariah.
yes.
Uh, they broke up last week, I understand,
Yes, they
right?
did. Yeah, because Tessa had, she's like, I've given you enough time. You know how I feel. Because Mariah would always say to Tessa, well, I understand you're upset how you're feeling. And then Tessa said, you know how I'm feeling, but Mariah, you don't share anything. What you're why you're feeling like you are, what's going on. And she said, I'm tired of it. I just I want to support you, but I don't know what I can do to help you.
Because she
And
never did share anything, right,
no,
about
she has
the
not shared.
circumstances
The
that she's
only
been having these visions.
no, the only thing she said is no. I did not have any one night
Affairs.
stand or affair or anything, and so that's why it's confusing to Tessa. And she finally
Right.
just said, "Enough is enough," and we maybe need a break from each other,
Right.
separate.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Daniel's been good to lean on for Tessa, and and as you say in your notes here, we are getting some more additional hints of what Mariah had experienced, and with this older man, where the, all of a sudden we saw this past week that not only were they having a drink together, but then she's with him, and like you said, she's smothering him with a pillow, and it's like now you kind of wonder what occurred, or what did he do, or what did he say that she wants to eliminate him.
Right.
You know,
and we didn't see any of this at the time, right? This is kind of all after the fact.
Yes, was just like the Young and Restless writers like to do.
Right.
They will, give us hints, but they never show us what really happened. Not in live time. They'll just do it in flashbacks, or
I think they're trying to save us the trauma.
Yeah, I think so, too.
Likely not.
Not likely not.
No. So yeah, right, exactly. That was my understanding too, is that she had put this pillow over him, and wow.
And that's all we've seen now. So maybe we'll see something
my
more
guess
this
is
week.
he was put. I think she had been drinking with him that night, if I recall, and probably drunk and went home with him or whatever, and then he got a little handsy or something, and she ends up killing him.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah.
Pure speculation on my part as co-host.
Maybe she got drinking too much and got drunk, and then he took advantage of her.
That's what I think.
Yeah, and she got upset with him then, and he passed out. Who knows? Because I would think if you were both willing partners, and then you kind of regret what you did, you would just pack, get your clothes back on and leave, and be like, I don't ever want to see you again. But something happened, so maybe. He did take advantage of her.
Something triggered that response, probably.
Yes. And angered her.
Yep, right.
Yep.
So my understanding, you've alluded to this already, Luann, but Danielle ends up meeting with Chrisine and Danny. Mm-hmm. Now, did I think I read mention of those two got engaged?
Yes, he made a
wow.
Danny.
Danny Romalotti.
Yeah, Danny Romalotti is off the market again.
He's no longer available, ladies.
Yeah, because first Danny told Daniel, he said, I'm thinking of asking Chrisine to marry me. And he said, really? And he said, yeah. He said, we've been spending a lot of time together and it feels right. And so I think, yes, and Danny planned a wonderful evening for him at he and Chrisine at the restaurant. And they had a lovely dinner. And then he had some little hidden items for Chrisine to open it, just to kind of, the first two were like something that was from their past, a memory that would trigger. And then the last one was, she said, is this what I think it is? And it was a diamond ring. And he said, yes, I'd like to get married. And so that was good. And then, like you said, when Danny was talking with Daniel before he did ask Chrisine, he was, I think, not needing his approval, but just kind of letting him know, this is what I'm thinking of doing. And then as they were talking, then Tessa walked in.
Okay, that's what I read. And interesting. So that begs the question, Luann. Will Tessa end up having a romantic relationship with Daniel?
And she might, because Daniel has been very supportive of her, and right now she needs someone to support her too, herself. And Daniel's, they're being good friends with each other. And who knows, sometimes, you just, as you hug and you say, oh, thanks.
Starts as a friendship, yeah.
You've been there for me. And then you get in a romantic,
You're such a romantic, Luann.
Yeah, I know. I always want happy endings.
Yes.
And in soaps, there's never happy endings.
No.
So
You'll have to turn the channel over to Hallmark.
Yeah. Or, Daniel.
Hallmark
right,
movies.
Hallmark, yes.
They always end well.
Yeah, yes, they are. You know how they're always going to end.
Yeah.
But or Daniel might be interested, but Tessa may not. And she's going to feel bad because I'm not interested in you, Daniel, that way. I like being friends with you and teaching you guitar lessons, but I don't want to be romantic. So it will be interesting to see what does happen in their relationship.
I will predict that there will be at least a romantic interlude.
Or a romantic evening, yes.
Evening,
and
or
then
interlude.
Interlude. I like that word. That's a fancy word for you, Mark.
Yeah. Hey, I lived in Northfield for a while.
Yeah, that's why. That's where you picked that up. Okay.
It helped my vocabulary greatly.
Good for you.
I know, isn't that good?
It's always good to broaden our horizons.
I know. That's right. So anyway, that'll be interesting. I'm kind of looking forward to seeing how that story washes out, or what comes to pass there as well.
Yes.
All right, so let's talk about the big storyline. The mystery of Mr. Dumas, who has been revealed as Kane Ashby, continues.
Yes.
I was getting caught up on my DVR this morning, and I realized, wow, we're still meandering around on the island, huh?
Through the maze.
Through the maze.
Yeah. And they're all talking, and they're a lot of discussions going on, side discussions, and it reminds you of where people are trying to team up with each other and against somebody. But you have Phyllis out there who she doesn't care who she.
What's the show where they do that on an island? It's been on forever.
Survivor. It's like Survivor.
It's kind of like Survivor on The Young and the Restless.
Yes. So Phyllis doesn't care who she has to step on or what she has to do. She, like today, in today's episode, she said, I want a job. I want a paycheck. And she said, if Kane is my way to that.
My meal ticket.
Yeah, my meal ticket. I'm going for it. And she does, because Kane kind of gave her a little tease that he said, okay, if you want to work for me, you're going to have to really go against Victor, Billy, Jack. Are you willing? And Nick. Are you willing to do that? And when he said Nick, she went, she kind of swallowed because it was like, ugh.
Nick would be the hard one for her. The rest of them, she's like, no problem, which is why he would pick her, because she would do anything he wanted her to. She plays dirty.
She does. And Phyllis is looking out for Phyllis.
Would be a problem.
Yeah. But Phyllis is looking out for Phyllis, and we'll see what she does. And then you have Kyle and Audra. Last week's episode finally ended where they're looking like they're getting romantically involved, which, with their two perfumes that they're trying to compete against each other. Kane even said to them, really? He said, Kyle, you're Jabot. You have a new perfume. You're going to do much better than Audra's because it's a new company and new perfume. So he said, competition is there. But at the end of Friday's episode, they were having a toast of a drink of champagne and toasting to themselves. And they kind of left you like, maybe not. Maybe they're, will Kyle have enough willpower? He's been having enough willpower. And Jack and Diane, especially Diane, is worried where Kyle is. Today's episode is like, where's Kyle and who is he with? So that was hers. And then you have Lily and Damien. And Lily is saying, hey, Kane, because Kane wanted to know if Damien and Lily were a couple now. And she said, well, we weren't until we came here to this island, and you've kind of put us together. And she said, so yes, we are a couple now. And Kane was a little put off with that. And he's like, oh, really? And so, he's feeling, I think he was hoping that he could reconnect with Lily. But now he knows that Damien is not going to happen. So you have that going on. And then you have Victor and Nikki. They just want to get off the island. So does Nick and Sharon. But Victor had a plan. And I don't know what the plan is yet. But Victor said, I'm working on that. So he's got some things going too. in the background that we're not sure what's happening. And then I'm trying to think of Devon and Abby. They're just Devon's just upset that he's been put there and they can't get off the island. But in today's episode, it was very interesting because Kane and Damien were drinking out of the same bottle. At first, Damien was feeling the effects of it, where he's like, I'm not feeling very good.
Yeah.
I can hardly walk. And then Kane, first I thought, well, did Kane do this? And I liked how Damien said, Kane, are you trying to kill me with,
Are you drugging me?
Are you drugging me? Are you trying to kill me because of Lily? And Kane said, no. He said, we're drinking out of the same bottle. I would be doing it to myself too. But then he started feeling the effects of it. And then you see somebody with gloves on, with a knife. And I thought maybe Kane will leave and then Damien will just be, sitting there by himself and somebody would just come and stab him. But what surprised me is when he was trying to help Damien up, and then that unknown person with a knife threw it at him and hit Damien in the back, and he's slouching then on Kane, who falls backwards with Damien on top of him, and he's holding him, and then Phyllis comes around the corner and sees it. And it's kind of like, wow, that was a great cliffhanger. Usually that happens on a Friday.
That was pretty good.
Yes. I thought that.
Yeah.
So
it
now
could have been a Friday.
Yeah. So now things will get exciting because if Damon truly dies, and then in the previews we saw Chance saying that, okay, there's a murder here. You're all suspects, because Devon even said, so you're treating us all as suspects? And Chance said yes. And so you and I, the last time we talked, I thought for sure it would be Chance that would, be murdered, because, we talked about how he's going to be possibly going off the show to another soap.
Or this, Luann, is he the murderer?
A murderer. Oh, yes. But then the plot would thicken as to why he would want to kill Damien, or was he wanting to kill Kane? I don't know, but
go ahead.
No, but what I was going to say is, but he was, I believe, aiming for Damien, because if Kane.
Oh, you do. Kane, see, I was going to ask you that. If you thought he was going for a Damien, or was he going for Kane?
Well, because Kane was standing there by himself, up, because Damien was sitting a lot. So if that guy wanted to, he could have thrown the knife.
He was waiting for a shot at Damien. He needed him to stand up so he'd have a shot at him.
Or does this person who threw the knife, is he wanting to set up Kane to make it look like he is the murderer? Because what Phyllis saw was Kane having his arms around Damien. The knife is in the back, where it would look
that being
suspect.
The case, who I would suspect? Who? If that was the case, Victor.
Yeah, and maybe he sent one of his henchmen or something.
Right.
Yeah, he's like, I'm tired of this. Get us off this island. But now they're going to be stuck there for a little bit longer. And it was interesting in today's episode, Jack and Diane and Phyllis, because Phyllis was feeling very confused walking through the maze, and Jack and Diane were getting lost, and they said, it seems like the maze is a little bit different.
I caught that too. Like they're changing the walls.
Yes, he said, did they change something where, did they do that to make it more confusing for all of them there, so that they could set up this murder a little bit better. So, it will be interesting now this week. I think we're finally getting into, because
Thank God, Luann.
Yeah, I know, because last week a lot of the daily episodes were they dragged a little bit.
It's kind of a snoozer.
It was kind of a snoozer. There's a lot of side conversations going on, and Billy and Jack also got into it. Jack was very upset with Billy and kind of like.
That's the other guy I would put out there as a potential suspect. Would be Billy.
Yeah.
Billy would have motivation.
Because Billy Boy's
feeling boxed in about right now.
Yeah, he is. He is right now. Yeah. I agree with you.
All right. So, if you're the producer-writer, Luann, what would you do? What would you do with knowing what you know today, how it ended today? What would you do with the storyline?
Oh, I think I would. I'm just trying to think here because um, I w- I believe the murderer. We need to set somebody up as the murderer that's not part of the core group. But will it be somebody that has it, has it in for Damien, someone from his past? First I was thinking Holden, but I believe Holden is still in Genoa City because Kane is trying to do something with Holden. He said, I might have something for you. But I'm thinking that, whoever the murderer, I would create the murderer to be someone that maybe is going against Kane, someone from his past, because he said he saw his dad die. And then, but they killed Damien by accident. Like you said, maybe they did. I don't know.
The other one that I read this article today that talked about how if you were to take the people that are there, right, that are present right now, are they, what are their motivations? Is it likely they did or didn't do it? So that was kind of interesting. Mm-hmm. But the one guy that I read that I would not have considered would be Damien's, or not Damien,
Kane?
Kane's henchman, that little nerdy little guy.
Carter.
That Carter.
Oh.
And I thought, that would make sense because it's not a character. I mean, you know what I mean? It's not an established character, so big
Correct.
deal.
Yes.
He gets convicted, you throw him in jail or whatever you do with him.
You know, because Kane mentioned that at the very beginning as to why he brought Chance. Because when Chance came to the island, Chance said, I understand why everybody else is here, but why did you bring me? Because he said, I think there could be a murder. So, you're right. Maybe one of his staff or Carter, or does he have other, somebody else that...
We could be totally surprised that it's somebody that we're not even...
Yeah, because Amanda is very secretive about Kane
she
also.
Is.
She wants to know what everybody else thinks about him. And she doesn't share a whole lot because Lily was trying to pull it out of her. Nick was trying to pull it out of her. And she's not sharing a lot. She trusts Kane, and, Kane, in his conversations today with Damien, said that, I'm sad. I'm sorry that I do not have a chance with Lily because apparently Lily does want to be with you, Damien. And then, and Damien was kind of saying, well, are you going to hold that against me because she wants to be with me? And he said, no, you won fair and square. Treat her nice and be good to her because apparently I wasn't, So,
yeah, didn't he say today something? He was asked about if he was out to get vengeance, and he said, no, it's about
redemption. That was the thing. Okay,
yeah.
Good. I'm glad you mentioned that because when Damien and Kane were talking, he said, "Do you want revenge?" And then because they were talking about the Count of Monte Cristo, and he said, "No, I don't want revenge. I want redemption. I want to be redeemed for." And I thought that was interesting. So, I have a feeling it will be a lesser character.
Me too.
For that. Yes.
I do too. Because they're not going to tie up a full character.
Yes.
The only other thing I would say, it just dawned on me, would be Crystal Khalil, who plays Lily.
Yes.
Lily is going from a full-time cast member to it's part-time, but they have a different word for it.
Oh, I see.
Where they pop in when they just add them into the storyline occasionally, but they're not as needed.
Yeah.
So she's going to that status.
Oh, okay.
So,
Yeah.
Was she trying to take Kane out, or you know what I mean? No. Are they going to do something with her character because they have to kind of remove her from the show?
It would be interesting if that was her because she was looking for them. She was talking with Amanda during that time, and she was looking for them, and she was yelling for them. So I don't think it's her.
I don't either. That
I
one
know.
would surprise me. I'd
Yeah.
put her about third or fourth in line
Yes.
of my list of suspects.
Yeah, yeah, because of everybody I would look at, I would say Billy. Maybe he would have a reason, but I don't know if Billy would be cut out for that. But
I don't either.
I can't see any of the women. And Phyllis came upon it at the end, so
She's got too dominant a character. Well,
Yeah.
who knows?
Yeah.
They can break somebody in and out of jail pretty damn fast on
Yeah.
these soaps too.
and I don't
so.
think it would be Devon. Because Devon
don't
could
either.
have a reason to be upset. With Kane, or not so much Damien, because of Lily, but I don't think it's him either. But and I don't think it's Chance, because I don't think Chance would do that.
I don't either.
Unless
Other than I know
unless
his
there's something
character.
and something in the background that we don't know about.
Right. That all of a sudden now they reveal to us. The only reason I even brought Chance up is because he's leaving the show.
Yes, yes. But like we talked, I thought he would be the one being murdered.
So did I.
So
and maybe he does yet. Who knows?
So I was, I was surprised if what happened today.
Yeah, me too.
And
That isn't what I expected.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we all kind of thought there was going to be a murder, but
yeah,
that didn't go down the way I thought it would.
yeah. And I think if it would be interesting to watch. If I was the producer, I would make more of a relationship between Tessa and Daniel. I'd get something like that going, because with Mariah, there's not a whole lot going on, and it'd be nice for them to have something happening for the two of them to kind of lean on each other, do that, and then maybe Claire with Holden, but Chelsea and Adam already kind of they met Holden in in Friday's episode, I think, and Adam said to Chelsea that Holden is a player. He said, "I hope Claire doesn't get hurt with him.
Careful around
Yeah,
him.
be careful." And then Chelsea said, "Claire knows how to take care of herself. She'll be okay." So because if Kyle and Audra do hook up and something more there, it'll be interesting to see who spills the beans first. Because you have Nate that could be affected, you have Claire that could be affected, and Victor will be happy. He'll be, going, yeah, that was good.
Yeah. I can also see Lily getting back with, you mentioned, who was her former flame?
Daniel? Well, because she liked Daniel too.
Yeah, she liked Daniel, but even before that, Billy, right?
Billy.
Her and Billy, but no.
That's not going to happen.
No.
Daniel.
I'm
Billy.
just thinking now if Damien ends up getting written off the show,
Yeah.
would she go back to one of her old
I don't
love
think
interests?
she would. I don't think she would, because she's been burned by Billy. She's been burned
Yeah,
by
that's
Daniel. And I don't think she would.
But they're good, Luann, about regurgitating relationships.
Yes. Yeah, I know.
Well, B&B and Young and
Yes,
Restless.
they are. They
Yeah.
sure are.
All right. Do you have any closing comments?
Just trying to think here. I think we've covered a lot today.
We covered a lot of ground, yeah.
Yeah, so, and we kind of did a little prediction with, who we
Right.
think it might have murdered.
What we think might happen.
Yeah, because that cart, remember in today's episode, that might have been a hint. Phyllis was yelling for Carter, because she was yelling for him even, because she was confused where she was in the maze. She yelled Carter's name, somebody else's name, and Amanda's name. And so, he wasn't around. So perhaps that's who it is. I don't know. And then
I
it's
kind of like that one. I think that's possible.
Yeah. And then it's kind of like, why? Now we have to understand the why. Why would he want to murder someone?
Right. Well, unless it was to make, he could have drugged both Damien and
Kane.
and did Kane just to make it look like he's a victim and not a suspect.
Yeah, because there had to be a reason why Kane fired Damien, and now was the plan just to kill him off then too.
Right.
You know, get
Right.
him there and kill him off. So who knows what all transpired in that whole relationship? You know, maybe
Right.
Carter, but
Well, plus he wants Lily, right?
yeah, and he wants Lily. So you know, maybe Kane said if Damien seems to be getting too friendly with Lily, take him out. I don't know. You know, and the relationship went too far. Yes.
Right. Exactly. All
We'll
right.
see. We'll stay tuned this week for more.
Stay tuned, folks. It should be interesting.
Yes.
Until we
very-
dish again, keep it sudsy.
Oh yeah.
And we're out.
Either.